The crypto market is once again in a state of panic, of fear, of maybe thinking that this was a double top like the 2021 bull run after all, and maybe, just maybe, we should look to take profits. Well, I'm going to answer the question of, should we take profits, or should we at least, I think most of us being down right now, take some risk off the table, or should we buy the dip? Stay tuned. Let's begin. Let me start off by saying, guys, that this pattern of up and down is normal in markets. Let's just get that out of the road straight away. This is the S&P cycle back in the dot-com bubble in the early 2000s. And you can see here, boom, bust, boom, bust. I don't even call them bust. It's just a minor correction. It's a healthy bit of breathing. Markets like to do this because if this doesn't happen, we have larger corrections, okay? Which is typically what we see, of course, after a bull run, like you can see the catastrophic effects over here. This does come, okay? And it does happen, but is it going to be the case this time? Well, I think the reason for this dip we're seeing right now is because of this. James Wynn, one of the guys who is anonymous, like multi-millionaire in crypto, he made a lot of money from nothing. This guy publicly stated his liquidation prices, which I think was a very silly thing to do, in the sense that market makers, whales, Binance, Coinbase, the guys who pretty much run and manipulate this market, well, they knew what price to liquidate him at, okay? These big boys, they play at a game and they play at a level that none of us even know about, okay? So I believe they tried to liquidate him, in which they were successful, okay? So he was liquidated and he made this post. One thing is for sure, I've exposed just how corrupt these markets are. Guess it's better to just buy and hold Bitcoin on spot or cold storage. And look, this is what I've been saying for the longest time now, guys. Crypto is manipulated beyond belief. There's whales that are able to move the price of these coins up, down, left, and right whenever they so wish. And I think my recent videos going over how little actual, market cap or money invested into altcoins is needed to move the price up 2, 3, or 10x, I think that goes to show it. You don't need to, for example, have $100 billion to 2x a $100 billion market cap altcoin. You need far less. So the same is with, of course, Bitcoin as well. These whales can move the price of Bitcoin with a few $1 million. They don't need multiple billions to do that. I also think this may have come because the US appeals court reinstated Trump's reciprocal tariffs, okay? So that may have, upset the markets. The markets are still quite reactionary and sensitive towards these tariffs, so that's, of course, going to chop things up. We also have had more tariffs, I think, on steel increase as well. So some of these things are up in the air, macro speaking, not just, of course, the manipulation happening in crypto right now. Marty Party, one of the people at the forefront of this manipulation game, trying to tell many, many people, mainly governments, that, Binance, Coinbase, these market makers like Wintermute are very corrupt. Well, he's saying that they are likely trying to force this market into a bear market, while we have guys like MicroStrategy, BlackRock, and so on, trying to push it in a bull run. Now, of course, he is on the side of the bigger boys, right? MicroStrategy and BlackRock trying to push into a bull run. I don't necessarily know, though, or agree with the fact that Binance, Coinbase, and these crypto-centric institutions are trying to push us into a bear market, but that's a whole different conversation for a different day. I just wanted you to know this information because the more you know, the better decisions, of course, you can make without relying on people like me. That's what I'm here to do, okay? And I just wanted to finish up before getting into, whether we should buy the dip or not, or what we should look to do here, is that, like I said, this market is heavily manipulated. And the way in which I know that is because these whales love to push the prices up and then move the price sideways for a long period of time, because they know that we know the bull market is likely going to happen. They know the longer they make us wait, the better it is for them, because the more sideways this market goes, the more people long or short, which means they're able to liquidate people. Okay, they can't liquidate people when people are making money here from Bitcoin going from 24,000 to 72,000, or from people going to 58,000 to 105,000. If you're long, you make money, they don't, okay? So they love to put this in a chop, and they love to make this happen when it's paired with macro news, because they can really send the prices up or down, because people are, of course, already quite sensitive. So is now a good time to look to, take some risk off the table, maybe exit a few positions that you're not comfortable with and hold some extra cash? Or is it time to, of course, buy the dip? Well, first of all, I'm not a financial advisor. Do what you want. I'm just giving my 2 cents. And my 2 cents is, as you'll see in just a moment here, I want to talk about the reasons why I think this is a good time to buy the dip, why this little minute, I don't even want to call it a crash, it's just a little dip, is actually completely normal. It's completely a part of the market and any sort of cycle, breathing and contracting, and so on. First of all, if you believe in the global M2 money supply having an impact on Bitcoin, well, of course, this was kind of foreseeable. You can see here I'm on an 87-day lead, and we did have this minor dip, as you can see here, which is kind of playing out right now. So as a matter of fact, for one, okay, if you believe in M2 and roughly correlated with Bitcoin, it's kind of playing out. We can look forward to some decent gains here sometime soon, of course, before having a major push up here. I think the much more important dip or crash to look out for here is whatever may come around this time, which coincidentally enough comes at the end of Trump's 90-day tariff pause. So this could be perfect timing here to send prices lower. I, for one, will be assessing my altcoin positions, working out which coins are in profit, and likely taking some before this time, because it's probably going to be quite volatile. And all in all, I think my overall thesis is risk and reward. Okay, so taking a trade, any trader would know this, you want to look for a favorable position. You want to enter with minimal risk, but high upside. And in this case, I don't know any sort of market or position we can possibly be in for the amount of reward we could possibly gain. Okay, so we could get life-changing money, financial freedom, retire me and my family much sooner. I think there's a very good chance this does happen, and I think there is a very small chance that it goes to zero. Okay, now I could be wrong, it's just my 2 cents, but if it were to go to zero, the risk here being I'm just going to continue working a regular job, retire at a normal age, okay, life goes on. Okay, the next opportunities will present themselves from there. So again, the risk and reward, I think right now is in favor of reward, which means I'll be looking to buy the dip. Now, those of you who know me and my situation, I can't actually buy the dip because I've got no more money, okay? And so in this case, I actually can't. But this goes more broadly speaking. If I could, if I had the money and the cash, I definitely would be dollar cost averaging slowly and steadily, likely on a very passive schedule. For example, kind of like a 50-50. If I had $100 this week to spend on buying crypto, okay, I would put $50 in and hold $50 as cash just in case this dip does dip a little further. Now, I'll get into how we can assess what altcoins to buy on these sort of dips in just a moment, because there is something very important that we all need to assess. I don't care if you're buying the same altcoin or buying a new altcoin. It's important to look objectively at the market based on this one important metric. But I just want to remind you all before we do that, just how far we've come in this bull run. No bull run ever, or any sort of time in crypto's history, have we had even 2 or 3 of these, I guess, events you're seeing on your screen here happen throughout the whole bull market, which makes me more bullish because I believe we have so much further to still go. Look at all of the massive bullish stuff that has happened in this cycle. Obviously, spot Bitcoin ETFs were huge. Spot ETH ETFs were huge. We had the Mt. Gox distributions. Okay, we've had such a massive push towards regulatory friendliness in the United States and other countries. It's amazing, okay? Yeah, here we are being bullish. Look at this, okay? The UAE in 2 years plans to make stable coins and crypto more important, okay, in their economy than even their own currency, the dirham itself, even more important than, actual US dollars as well. Okay, so this guy says, mark my words, I believe in actions, not just words. I highly recommend watching this 1-minute clip. I'll leave the link down below. It's very important you understand that there are economies, entire economies around the world that are looking to incorporate some of the crypto aspects within them. Okay, of course, we have Sally here saying the Bank of England is on the brink of buying Bitcoin. We had PSG, the Bitcoin 2025 conference here in Vegas, say that they are now building a Bitcoin treasury reserve. Okay, Eric Trump at the same event here said that we're going to pretty much double the amount of people owning Bitcoin in the United States. And if you're wondering yourself, Kyron, we don't care about Bitcoin, we care about altcoins. Well, guys, guess what? For alts to go up, we have to have Bitcoin go up first. If Bitcoin doesn't go up, alts won't go up. There's a misconception in crypto where people think that Bitcoin has to go down for alts to go up. That's completely wrong. Bitcoin has to go up, and a lot, by the way, multiples in like a 6-month period for alts to go up, because they will go up, but even more than Bitcoin. Dubai has also launched a real estate tokenization platform on the XRP ledger. And one of the biggest news we've had recently, Trump Media Group aims to raise $3 billion for cryptocurrency investments. We now have people buying Bitcoin as well, all right, raising $1 billion here. It's incredible, incredible. And yet here we are on a monthly fear and greed score of 53. And this might go lower in the coming days here, okay? So I think all in all, we have room to still go in the tank. We have this stablecoin market cap going up as well, and I think this is going to go up at an exponential rate, which is good for altcoins. Why? Because this going up is pretty much like the global M2 going up for Bitcoin. As this goes up, we have more liquidity, more money to move altcoins up, which is obviously going to give us a massive bull run. We can see over here the SSRO has actually fallen back down to the midpoint here of 0, which means that I'm looking for the same size of move that caused Bitcoin to go up 42% here to likely come again, sending Bitcoin, I think, above $140,000, maybe even $150,000, hopefully pushing us out of this channel that we are in. That's, of course, going to give way for alt season. Now, yes, as you can tell, a lot of things have to fall into place here, but we have so many amazing catalysts happening, and the market sentiment is so low. As this has happened the last 3 times this bull run, it's a matter of time before we have a massive rally soon after. And I think, again, sooner or later here, that'll cause alt season. So you want to look for the altcoins that have shown the most amount of strength in this recent market dip, and also since January of this year. And that's important because January of this year, we can see over here, this pretty much was when we had the top of the massive rally in Bitcoin, but also altcoins, okay? Ever since then, we had been down and we've obviously recovered here since. So we're looking for the ones that have recovered the most in this time and also recovered since this dip here in about April. So that's what I'm eyeing off. And we can actually see here on average, okay, most altcoins are down 44% and also down 57% versus the market and versus other alts. So like I said, we're looking for the ones that are up, or ideally just beating this average benchmark. And so, this cheat, by the way, is available in the private community for all members. And we can just scroll through here and have a look at some of the ones that are up or down. And the questions have to be, why is this one not up or down as much? Okay, if one coin has really, really bled, like for example, I'm just going to pick here, Beam. Why has Beam bled so much? Well, that's when you can go and have a look at, gaming. Okay, this is gaming's market cap. Gaming coins have really suffered in this time, and the reason simply is because gaming coins are more of a late market pumper. At least that was in the last cycle. Gaming coins are very much so like, meme coins. It kind of attracts the same sort of crowd, okay? And so in this case, I think we can look towards gaming coins as like, okay, these coins probably will get more multiples in general, like, of course, meme coins. But as you can see here with meme coins, the market cap for these projects really took off, really fell, should I say, when we had the recent market dip, opposed to RWA coins, okay, more utility-based projects, which kind of didn't fall as much and have rebounded much better. Same with AI coins you can see over here. So again, it's kind of like looking into these different areas and thinking to yourself, why? Why have some coins done better than others? And if you can figure out that reason, that might mean you want to position more towards one particular area or coin over another. That is why I'm so heavy into layer 1 coins. I'm so heavy into AI coins, especially layer 1 AI coins like Potenza is particularly interesting, like NIA, like ICP, most importantly like Render, okay? And why I look towards real world asset coins, they just are the dominant force in this bull run, and it makes the most amount of sense because these are the coins that will find the most amount of traction. I believe this is a tokenization bull run, like DeFi was sort of like the main part of the last bull run. And it makes sense. It's the evolution of DeFi, if you will. Of course, there are other narratives out there. USA coins are very, very important as well. That highlights XRP, XLM, of course, Render, and many, many others. And I think as long as you can overlap many of these narratives together, like Ondo is a layer 1 real-world asset coin, Render is a DePIN AI coin, it's also in the Solana ecosystem, the better. You're hitting multiple areas the coin should perform when the market does turn, okay? So look, I guess overall, what I'm trying to say here is I believe the bull run's still on, and I'm trying to look for the altcoins here that are showing the most amount of strength right now. I believe this little dip, right, from 110,000 or 111,000 down to 105,000 was mainly because of the James Wind thing. Obviously, some macro reasons as to why it's obviously helped pull it down. But just like a normal market, there's healthy pullbacks and resets. It's crazy because if you actually have a look here at how we've done over the last few weeks, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks in the green. We've had 1 week here red. I mean, guys, you can see here, it's completely normal to go up, reset, up, and so on. It's how markets breathe. So guys, that's going to do today's video. And you know what? I want you to let me know you've made it this far by hitting me with a money bag emoji in the comments down below. Just hit the money bag emoji, add it to your specific comment. It doesn't really matter. I want to know how many people watch to the very end of these videos. So I appreciate you very, very much. And I hope you make a lot of money in this bull run and change your life forever. And I do mean that. Take good care. Bye-bye.